spinner, they call it. Shall we have a go? Right. Very easy beach toy. Wonderful, isn't it? Well. This came from a whole bunch of stuff in a dark hole in my bedroom where a lot of stuff been gathering dust. So I'm going to show some of the items I've got. And the first one I've got to show is when I have to write letters, I have to get biros out. Well, I found a biro there which I haven't used for 20 years. You'll probably see why. Yes, well, it's a biro. Black point and white body, and oh yes, it's one of those. Yes, I read so. Yes, I have to write long letters sometimes to people far away, so I want to first of all just write something simple like, oh no, I haven't alerted it, you've got to push that in. Now it's going to write, here we go. I'll write hello like this, hello. Can you read that? Yeah. But sometimes when I write into Australia or New Zealand, I've got to write in longhand or far away. So I'm practicing. I'll have a go down here, shall I? 1 foot away. H. Careful now. Oh, there we go. A. Takes a bit of time to write in New Zealand, you know, and likewise my friends in Australia have to wait for it. With an exclamation, oops, mark. Just about. And next week, I'm going to practice holding it further back still. Yes, it's ridiculous. I did think when I first discovered this, I say I haven't touched it for 20 years, that there must have been some ink in there which has dried out. But look what a long inkwell it's going to have. It's going to go on writing for 20 years, isn't it? When I took it apart to find out how dry up it was, you'll see why it's so long. And there's this disappointment here because we've got a refill. That's it. Look, that's the black, that's new ink in there. And when I pulled it out, I thought it would go on and on and on, but no such luck, I'm afraid. No, that's just plastic empty tubing. Oh well, never mind. It's fun to use a pen, a ballpoint pen, which is about 3 foot long, especially if you wanted to practice longhand. So these are items which I picked up after about 20 years of non-use, sitting in the back of a cupboard area of my bedroom, and I didn't know even I had them. So here's another one which I used to use at children's parties up to 20 years ago. They're turntables, and on the lawn outside in summertime these were a lot of fun for kids. There were 2 particular games they did, apart from standing up and making a move, which I'll do now. There were 2 other games they could do. They'll put that down the floor, and at my age I had to steady myself holding it on. Kids just leap straight onto them and go whish into it. There, yeah, yep. I could twirl around if I was a kid. So what kids did, either use them as a stepping stone, step from one to the other, twirl round between each one. That's very, very athletic, but they can do it. And the best thing, of course, is that wonderful demonstration of conservation of momentum, where they hold their arms out standing on one of these, and their friends twirl them round, and they bring their arms in like skaters, and they whirl around very fast. So it's been a lot of fun to use that in those ways for small children, teach them a bit of physics too. So that was a good one. Here's a strange one. Now, what on earth is this? Something I discovered on its own, and I didn't know where the rest of it was, so perhaps there's some other part to it. Let me just blow it up to show what it looks like. It's something bizarre, this, because it's going to be, let's see if I can get this into here. It's going to be something useful, I feel, because it looks very purposeful. Oops, Josie. Actually, I've got little things here to put inside. I think I'm going to try this because it makes it much easier to work with. When I was playing with this the other day, I thought, I know, I'll make a little double tube to fit it in, and then it's going to be so much easier to blow up. So here we go. These little black things is the key to it. There we go. Put that in there like that. Is it going to go? Yes, just about. There we are. So it blows up, and then you've got to work out what it could be used for. I've got to hold it there, actually, to let the thing work in. That's it. Oopsie-daisy. This is not working. Blah, 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 blah. There we go. It looks like the colour of a life jacket, and that actually is a bit of a clue as to what's going on here. Because this is a very, very bizarre piece of equipment. Obviously very purposeful. That's one, but hang on, there's another one here to blow up. 2 little tubes, 2 little compartments. And this has to be done before it's actually able to be used by the children. The parents will do all this, of course. So let's have a go blowing up this one. Oops, Daisy. No, I want to get it straight onto the top. Oops, Daisy. Oops, Daisy. Wow, I'm going to use that little red thing which I invented, see if that's going to work as well. No, it won't come on. No, I'll do it without. Let's see if I can get this to go. Can't get that to move in, actually. Have it on the top. I'm going to do this by hand, I think, just for a bit of fun. Oh, that's much more fun. Got nice and dizzy from it too, from over-oxygenating. So, any clues as to, I better put this in as well to make sure it's tucked away. Any clues as to what it's for? Well, it's missing something, isn't it? So, I tucked it underneath here. Now all is revealed. Yes, it's a paddle for a canoe. It's a pair of paddles for small children to be able to paddle, and when they lose their paddles by dropping them overboard, they won't sink to the bottom because their paddles are wearing life jackets. What a nice thing that is. It's for small children, but never mind if you drop it in, it'll float. Very nice idea, that. Very simple. Haven't seen them since. They all probably make them of plastic now, so, but in the days of what, this is 30 years ago, that's how they solved it. Having a pair of paddles with a life jacket. Very nice. Here's something strange. Look at this. Extraordinary. This is something you wear over your shoulder like that, and you go to concerts, and you go to picnics, and you go to the seaside. But what do you put in it? Bottles of beer? No. Actually, would you believe you put into it something extraordinary? A whole-sized chair. Astonishing. And I have used that a few times, but not for 25 years. It fills up beautifully. Just do that and it's done. When it's out like that, it's actually very, very comfortable chair indeed. This is lovely for the thing. And it folds up into a little neat packet like that, which you carry on your shoulder, and off you go to the picnic. Very nice idea. Very nice idea. Here's another thing I discovered, which I was very pleased to find there. I haven't used this for 25 years either. Look at this. It's got a universal joint there. That's the important bit. Must have a universal joint, because then you can make it twirl back and forward like that very easily. Or you can make it go around in circles. Or twirl it really fast and do spirals like that, which is beautiful, I think. It's my favourite bit. But back and forward is nice as anything, with a few big circles like that. For small children, it's very, very light and very easy to use and extremely colourful, and a nice bit of noise there as well. So, very, very popular with small children. That's been good stuff. Then there's an item here which is, again, something I would have used a lot in outdoors. I did a lot of children's parties outdoors in the garden, and this is a charming one because the idea of this is children have to put it on their foot and then twirl round. I'll demonstrate by twirling it round the table here. So they put the foot in there, and the other foot's got to hop up in the air as it's twirling. Let's see if I can get this put to my jacket like that. Let's see if I can get this to twirl. And then what's going to be fun is you count the number of revolutions it's done. Put it on my hand like that. There we are. Twirl, 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 twirl. And then there is a little tiny rev counter. You probably can't see it there. And it counts the number of revolutions they managed to do. Good for them. The last item I discovered there in the head was tubes. And I do love these tubes because they're always exciting things that I feel you can put things in them. This is the one that interested me most because it's quite a large tube. Very comfortable, very easy to use, but it's got to have documents. No, it's got to have something interesting, a toy. There's something interesting. So That was getting me excited, but this one is even better. This was actually a tube which contained a Swiss toy, Modus. And just for a bit of fun, I thought, well, let's see what we can do with it, shall we? Put something in there which you always expect to find in tubes, well, especially if you're a toy collector. That was a lot of fun.